Don Everly was 8 years old and Phil Everly was 6 when they first sang together as the Everly Brothers. For a while they split. Well, now they're reuniting in a London concert. Here's NBC correspondent Don Porter live from London. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Bryant. Here in the land of the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and the Police, the Everly Brothers still have plenty of fans who remember them very well from 25 years ago.
It was in the late 1950s when Don and Phil Everly started making their hit records. Hits like Bye Bye Love and Kathy's Clown, records that climbed to the top of both the rock and the country and western charts. Last night at London's Royal Albert Hall, a sellout crowd of 6,000 witnessed the reunion of the Everly Brothers. Don and Phil on stage performing together for the first time in 10 years.
Wake up, little Susie, wake up. We've both been sound asleep. Wake up, little Susie, and weep. The movie's over, it's 4 o'clock, and we're in trouble deep. Wake up, little Susie.
After the concert, well-wishers gathered to welcome the Everlys back. Don is 46 now, Phil 44. Both men are a little grayer, perhaps a little less lean than in the old days, but both appear to be happy the time for a comeback may be at hand.
Back live now with Don and Phil Everly. Welcome. What happened 10 years ago when you split up? It was kind of evident to everyone there that you weren't exactly getting along then. Is that phase over in your lives?
Yeah, well, I think our career took over our personal lives, and that's what I've come to the conclusion of, because after been able to spend time really alone, which was the first time in our lives that we had ever lived as individuals, the Everly Brothers had just sort of taken over, and the career had, and plus the people around that were running the business and everything, and we just hadn't had a chance to be individuals. And now that we've had that chance, it's why not sing again together, you know? It's that sort of thing.
Phil, let me ask you, why come all the way to London to stage your reunion concerts?
When we decided that we were going to do something, we had to pick a place, and we talked about the various places in the world that we'd want to play. And the Royal Albert Hall is a special musical memory for us. We played here with our father one time, and it was a chance for us to see him on stage, and the people here gave him a standing ovation. It's just one of the fondest memories we've ever had, and it just has always been a good place in my heart, and I'm glad we chose here because it was just delightful last night. It was fun.
It looked as though you were having a good time. What did it feel like, and are you the same after all this time? Is your music the same?
Well, I just heard that little bit from last night, just now, for the first time, and it sounded pretty good to me. I was, you know, you think, was it going to... I enjoyed it. Last night I had some really wonderful moments on stage, I mean, musically, and something you always think you can do some better, you know, but I think we've matured, but I think there's nothing wrong with maturity.
Right.
You know, I think we remained kids quite a long time, too.
What is there about your music that has made it last so long and remain so popular?
I don't know, that's almost beyond my comprehension, you know. I'm very delighted for it. I think it's basically that the music trends move more towards what we were doing from the initial part, and we're more in tune with what everybody's coming back to, and I think that's really the reason. That we also had great songs, and we've also been very lucky.
So does this mean that we're going to hear and see more of the Everly Brothers in the immediate future?
I think so, yeah.
We take it a day at a time, but it's been too much fun not to. It really has.
When your music was big, I mean, it's still entrenched in Western pop music, but when it was big, people called it rockabilly. What does that mean?
Well, rockabilly, when it was the term first was brought around in the 50s, I really wasn't too fond of it because it was being called a hillbilly in a way. And we were from Kentucky, and we didn't really go for that. But now the term means something else. It's kind of more of a warm, affectionate term. And like we met the Stray Cats last night for the first time. They were wonderful musicians, and I really like their music. And there's a rockabilly thing. I like that music. And
once again, then, do you think the Everly Brothers are back together to stay?
Well, we're going to be brothers for the rest of our lives. I guarantee that.
You know, the brothers come before the act now.
Yes, and that's the main thing that we did.
Perspective.
That's really what we set out to do, and that's what we succeeded in doing.
Well, good luck, and thank you both very much, Don and Phil Everly, for coming to be with us today. And now back to Bryant, New York.
All right, Don Porter, thank you. Didn't know we were going to have an edition of Family Ties today, too. Dr. Art Ulene is next in a moment.